So, hi everyone, welcome to part 13 of Learning Data Science. And I'm Avinash. And today we're gonna discuss about the leftover of sets, the functions which we discussed yesterday. And basically, today we will complete the sets, and tomorrow we will start with the dictionary part. Okay. So, first, as I say, you guys, that what you should do, you should read a mind map at least 4 to 5 times a day. Every day you have to read the mind map. Again, what is a mind map? Mind map is pictorial representation of your data. Someone might looking at your Excel sheet or Google Doc, he might not be able to relocate his things, or he might not be able. It's like no one can just by looking at those Excel sheet, they will be able to see what type of data is basically present inside it, right? So for that, we need mind map or any kind of flow chart or ED diagram. So basically these type of things. So you guys have already know how to open the mind map. So I will just start with the things. I will uh, here what you can do, you can just type it here, Python mind map. Okay. And when you have clicked into it, you can see that this is the particular mind map pertaining to Python. And also how to operate this mind map is just simple as easy. Means like you have to just double click on the particular statements, and yeah, the branches will be displayed. So right now, what sets comes under is variable data types in Python. Okay. So we have discussed about string, we have discussed about list, we have discussed about tuples, we have discussed about few operations upon set, few functions upon set as well. So what all things we discussed yesterday? We discussed uh, how to what is intersection, what is union, how to add elements inside the set, how to remove the elements, how we can clear the set. So basically these all things we discussed yesterday. And if you guys haven't watched the same, so what you can do, you can just go back in my day 12 video, and you can absolutely get it there. My video is there, and you can just rewatch how many times you want, because that's all been given there. And like it's will be easy for you guys to understand it more precisely. Okay. And the next thing which I always talk about is that you guys have to stick it to the ID, which is Spider. Again, why Spider? Because Spider is a beginner friendly, and someone who is at the beginning of learning Python, he should stick to Spider as well. He should speak to Spider, because the thing is, Spider gives the variety of uh, what you can say features which helps any fresher or any newbie who is just learning Python. Okay, so as you can see in my screen, that Anaconda Navigator, I had opened it, and here I will open Spider. You can see here I have performed some simple calculation regarding to set. And yes, we will perform now itself. And yesterday what we discussed about the certain things, like disjoint, means like what is basically disjoint function, what that particular function checks it. So what disjoint is means like they will look for, they will basically compare two set. If nothing is common between them, it will return a true value, right? And union, again, union, what union does, union removes the same value and it prints the both set. For example, uh, in set 1, the elements are 1, 2, 3, and in set 2, the elements are say 1, 4, 5. So what union will do, it will remove 1 and it will print all the elements of set 1 and all the elements of set 2 apart from the common elements, right? So these all things we discussed yesterday. And what you guys can do, you guys just open a new file here in Spider. It's as simple as opening a file in Google Doc, Microsoft Word, or Microsoft PowerPoint. You have to just click on the new file. And here, let me just increase my font. And here today, what we will be discussing about is we will be discussing more about the set functions. And after that, we will move on to dictionary. Okay. So basically, what you have to do, you first, right, you have to clear the set. Okay. But before that, you have to input a set, right? So how you can input the elements depending upon user means, like, for example, let's be a question that uh, input elements inside a set with user values. Okay, it's like what user want to input it, you want to enter that. Basically, you are not defining the set previously. You will be defining one by one. We will be adding one by one the elements into it, right? So there are two ways to do it. First, like, for example, I will ask user in n that int input enter the elements, enter the number of elements you want in set. Okay. If I'll do this, then what I will do, I will just simply use a for loop here. I will use for I in range of what? For I in range of n. And before this, I have to define a set here. S is equal to set. Okay. And what I will do here, you might have remember how we can add the elements inside the set, right? So what you will do, you will write here E is equal to eval. Basically, what eval function does, eval function automatically identifies the data type which we use inside it. Okay. So what type of data means, like, for example, you guys must have a question here. Like, for example, if I'm doing here S and just I'm not S, write any F. Okay. And I'm just simply writing input, enter a number. Okay. And if I will print this line, enter a number, and if I will do this. Okay. And if I am printing F, print F, and when I will execute it, you can see 5 here is there. But the data type of this 5 is str. Why? Because by default, Python, what it does, by default, Python inputs a string value. Whatever value we enter by user in Python, by default, it inputs string value itself. You can see here by using the type F. Okay. And when I will run it, you can see it's str. And why does Python enters a user input as str? Then that is something which is by default. Means, like, the programmer Rudo Van Hussum, who have developed Python in 1991, that particular guy have developed inbuilt something in Python that whenever we will be assigning, whenever we will be inputting anything with the help of user, that particular thing will be in string. Okay. It's just like the same way. Like, for example, someone who is watching this video is a guy, right? And someone, sorry, my bad. Someone who is watching this video is a girl, right? So if he will come and ask me, okay, I am a boy, why I why my body doesn't functions like a girl. If okay, then if you are a girl, then you will say why my body doesn't functions like a boy. Okay? You can't ask these questions. Why? Because you have been made like that. By default, you are a girl. So your body will function like a girl. You will not become a boy. If you are a boy, your body will function like a boy. You will not become a girl. Okay? Unless you change it. By default, which is being created by God, it's that. So similarly in Python, by default, it inputs a string. If you want to change it, then we can do it. Like for example, if you want to int, then what I'm doing, I'm changing the value. This is explicit type conversion. And I know you guys have understood what is explicit type conversion. I have already explained. If not explained, then just go and search there. It's like in my fifth data science, you will get there. You can see here type is int because I'm using int here. If I'll use float, so similarly, I will give a float value. Okay. If I'll enter 3 also, and if I'll execute this line of code as well, then you can see it, the type is float. Okay. And if I will print it, it will give me 3.0. Okay. So the float value is there. So we have to write it individually. What if we write eval? So what eval does, eval automatically identifies that particular thing. For example, here, if I'm writing 5 and if I'm printing this and I'm printing this as well, so you can see the value, it's int because eval function automatically identifies it, right? Now let's try some Boolean values. Enter a number. I will enter 5.0 and I will press enter here and then I will execute the same line of code again. Then you can see that eval function automatically it identifies it. So I want you guys to just code it simultaneously because coding is something that you just can't watch it and you can learn, right? So I hope you guys are also coding side by side. So if I will execute this type, you can say it's float. But in case of str, in case of str, you have to input under quotes. Otherwise, Python will not identify that particular thing is the str. For example, if I'm writing my name here, Avinash, and when I will execute it. So right now it will simply execute and it will not give any error. Why? Because the type already I've been mentioned in quotes. It's str. But what if I will not mention the quotes? See, Avinash is not defined. Why? Because I haven't, Python will not identify what Avinash is. Okay. So for that reason, you have to mention in quotes. Only for string, rest others Python can identify is easily. Okay. So I hope you guys have understood what is eval function here. Okay. If you haven't understood, then you can rewatch this video. Just go back and rewatch it. It's getting recorded and you can watch any number of times you want to watch. Okay. So what I will do here, I will just do eval input, enter a number or enter elements. And the next statement, what I will do, I will add these elements inside the set. Okay. These element means the first element, which is E. I will try adding it. So what's the function behind is simply the add function s dot add what E. And if I will print it here, print s, then you can see it like, let me execute this lines of code. Let me execute it here at 5, then press enter, then execute this line of code. For I in range n, why it's giving, wait, Okay. So enter elements now. Five elements I have to enter it. So let's enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see that these elements have been successfully entered here. So like this, we can add the individual elements according to user. If we want to use dictionary comprehension, or sorry, set comprehension, so that is a bit tricky part. Instead of writing these 3 lines of code, this basically this 4 line of code, line number 5, 6, 7, and line number 2. We can write these things in a single line. That is set comprehension. And how we can do it? Let's remove it. It will be quite confusing for you guys to understand the set comprehension, but I am showing you the ways. Okay, I will teach what set comprehension is once we complete the all the data types, including dictionary as well. So set always starts in curly bracket, and what we have to do, I have to write eval input, enter a number, okay, or enter element. Okay, I have written here, and outside the bracket, what I will write for I in range n. Okay, now just let's execute this line. Enter number of elements 5, and if I'll enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you can see it. It's been successfully stored in S. So like this, we can use dictionary comprehension as well. So what we are doing, we were just discussing about how we can remove the values from a set. Okay, how to remove values from set, how we can do it. Okay, so just basic a simple function is there, which is the remove, and we will use the same thing. We will write here s dot remove. If you want, you can see the elements were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to remove the element, for example 4, then you have to write it here. Then you can see 4 have been successfully removed. What if the value is not there? For example 6, it will throw an error, key error. Why? Because 6 value is not present. So it will throw an error. So what the alternative way to remove elements, so that if the element is not present inside the set, then also it will not give any error, right? So how to do it? So the next function, which is discard. Discard, it works same as remove. It helps in removing the elements only. But the only difference is when the element is present inside a set, then the elements will be removed. But if the elements is not present inside the set, then remove function will throw an error. You can see here, key error. But if we will use uh, s dot discard, and I will write here 6. Okay, so what will happen? And if I will print s here, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has been printed here. Now let's execute one more time. You can see it's getting printed. But if I will write print s here, so you will certainly get an error. See, key error. And here it's simply getting printed. So that means that if you want that your code shouldn't get an error, if you want to handle the error, so for that reason, instead of remove, use discard. For example, if you want to remove the value 3 from here, and if I will use 3, so you can see it that previously the set was 1, 2, 3, 5, and now it's 1, 2, 5. So successfully we have removed this, right? So I hope you guys have understood what is discard function and how it implements what is remove function and all those. Think you guys have understood that. Now let's move on to the next function, which is update. update. Okay. So what is basically update function? What is update? Okay. So for example, consider two set. Okay. For example, A is equal to A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And B equal to 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. Okay. What update function does? Update function, what it will do is it will remove the common values. For example, 1 and 1, 2 and 2 will be removed, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8 will get printed. I'm, I am repeating, update function will remove the common values between the two sets, and it will print the elements of both the set by removing the common values. Okay. So now let's use it. For example, I will be using a dot update b. Okay. And if I will print it, okay, my bad, a is not defined. And if I'll print a here now, then you can see that it had removed the common values 1, 2, which was present. It had removed it. And what it did, it printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by removing the common values. How do we get the common values? We get common values by intersection. That is a dot intersection b. Okay. If I will execute this, then you will see what are the common values. Sorry, my bad. No, the common values, it will be this only. Now what's the common value is 1 and 2. You guys can see it. And you might have also remember what is a minus b. What a minus b does. There is some serious issue with my keyboard. I have to just use on screen. Okay. If I will do a minus b, a minus b, if I will do, and if I will execute this, then what answer you will get? You will get 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5 means it is removing the common values, which is from b, and it is printing the a values after being removed the common values. For example, if there were no common values inside it, it would have printed the a like this. So what does this minus function does? Minus function removes the duplicate values between two set, and it prints the first set. If I will do b minus a here, then you will see that 6, 7, 8 will be getting printed because it will remove one and 6, 7, 8. It gets printed. So the same thing I've discussed in the my yesterday's video A12. So you can go and watch it. So you will get a more clarity about what is B minus A. And we have discussed about intersection. What is union? What is A dot union B does? Okay. A dot B union, it prints all the elements inside B, and all the elements of B apart from the common one. You can see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got printed like this. Okay. And now let's move on to a dot update, a dot intersection update, intersection update b. Okay. And if I'll execute this line of code, and when I will execute this, so then I will print a. So what you will get 1 comma 2. Okay. So what you're doing, it's printing the intersection value which is present inside b. Okay. Now if I will do a dot b and I will write only a dot update, so what it will do, and if I'll print a, so it will get printed like this as well. Okay. So I hope you guys have understood what is intersection update and what is update as well. Now we will move on to the symmetric symmetric set. Now what is symmetric set? Symmetric set is what it will do. It will just remove the common values and it will print the both the sets. Okay. So now let's execute it. How we can do it? We will write a dot symmetric difference. Symmetric difference DE. And if I'll execute this, you will see that 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8. It got printed like this. Symmetric set means it's removing the common values between two sets and it's printing both the sets. So I hope you guys have understood it, what is symmetric difference means and how we can use this function. And what's the logic behind this function is, do you guys remember what is b minus a? B minus a is whatever elements is inside b, it will get printed, but not the elements which is also in a. Means it will remove the common values and it will print the b set, which is written on the topmost left side. Whatever thing we write in the left side, that particular set will get printed, not the right hand side. And again, how it will get printed? It will get printed by comparing both the sets and removing the common values. So what's the logic behind this? The logic behind this is that if just assume it, means like what does a dot intersection b does? A dot intersection b means a dot intersection will take the common values and a dot union b will take all the values from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8. Okay. So for example, in a dot union b, the values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6, then 7, then 8. Let me execute this line of code. You will see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it removes the common values, uh, and it print only one time. But in symmetric difference, it totally removes the common value. It will not print any one time. Okay, you guys have seen here. Now, A dot union is this, and what is A dot intersection is? A dot intersection is similarly the common values here, which is 1 and 2. Okay, and what if we will do 21 minus 20, line number 21 minus 20, what it will give? Just assume this. It will remove the common values. It will remove the common values and it will print the rest of the values, which you guys can see here: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So asymmetric difference can also be written as A dot union B minus A dot intersection B. Okay, and if I'll print it, then you can see it. And what is the shortcut way to write it? I told you guys, A union B minus A intersection of B. And if I'll print it, you guys can see it. Hmm. Okay, okay, okay. Hmm. Now you can see the values. So it is similar. All these three lines of statement is similar. Whether you can write A dot symmetric difference, or you can write this, or you can just use the abbreviation of union and intersection. So how I hope you guys have understood all the functions pertaining to set, and tomorrow we will start with the dictionary. So till then, I want you guys to practice every day at least 5 to 100 lines or 5 to 1000 lines of code, because I want you guys to sprint. Just don't walk it. And till then, keep practicing it, keep shining. Good night. Bye bye. Take care and Jai Hind.